Hi, friends. Um, in the previous session, we've discussed around cognitive distortions or thinking mistakes. I just thought I will, spend some time in discussing and explaining one of the cognitive distortion that we touched upon in the previous session. And I thought I'll give a better explanation, detailed explanation in this video. So we are talking about maximization as a thinking mistake. Now, this is where what is this concept? So this concept is you are giving over importance to something which is happening in your life, some small events happening, and you are giving too much of importance to it. It is like blowing it out of proportion or making a mountain of a molehill. So when you do this, like it is an absolute cognitive distortion, right? Uh, if you give too much of importance to a very small issue in your life, you are in your own mind making the small issue big. And when a big issue happens, it becomes even bigger. So this is a cognitive distortion which says that you are giving a lot of importance, significance to small events which are essentially not as significant as they are. So now let's look at some of the examples of how people who are doing cognitive distortions, how do they blow out of proportion is what we are looking at, and how one can kind of remediate this kind of a thinking is we are also going to discuss that in this example. Okay. So as a corporate employee, your boss kind of scolded you, something he said, this is not the way the job has to be done, and this should have been done better. And there was some kind of a feedback that you received from your boss. Now, if you are someone who, thinks in catastrophe or, puts maximization thinking error for events, so how would you think? You would think, oh, now my boss has given me a feedback and I am now going to, get fired from the job. This is going to be, the end of my career. So those are the things, that seem to pop up in your mind. So this is again an automatic thought that is happening. Remember, we spoke about negative automatic thoughts. So these negative automatic thoughts are essentially catastrophe thinking, right? In this specific case I'm explaining. So how do we cut down and how do we, kind of remediate this thinking is we ask ourselves questions. Am I thinking in catastrophe? Am I blowing things out of proportion? Am I giving too much of significance to, this event in my life? When you ask these two, three questions, you immediately create awareness that yes, you are blowing things out of proportion. And then once that negative automatic thought is dissolved, and you can also ask more thought diluting questions which we have discussed in the earlier session, then you can start creating helpful thoughts for the specific events. So in this case where the boss has scolded the employee, the helpful thought could be, everyone makes mistakes. And that is so true, right? Everybody, we all are humans, we make mistakes. I will be more aware about my mistake next time. Mistakes does not mean I'm failure. And one incident of my boss, scolding me that this was not done well, that does not mean that he's going to fire me from the job. I have done so many projects successfully, and so much of good work I have done in the past. So, this is where the helpful thoughts one can create and one can think about. The other example, as a businessman, a lot of efforts entrepreneurs and businessmen put in, to acquire new customers and, to build their business. And once the customers, once there are loyal customers, the business relationships also build up. So from that perspective, if I have a customer, so if I'm a business entrepreneur and if a very loyal customer, has signed up for let's say a session or signed up to buy my product, and in the very last minute, if they cancel it. So if I am the one who thinks in catastrophe or maximization, how am I going to think? My automatic thought will be, oh God, my most loyal customer has canceled my product. What is happening? Is there some mistake with my product or service? Am I doing it wrong? Have I got this wrong? Um, Now what? This was the my most loyal customer. He's going to spread the news about this product, and everybody is going to stop buying my products. You see, there is so much of catastrophe going on just by one single event. And the truth of the matter could be the customer was, maybe traveling and he had to cancel, let's say, a coaching session, and that's why, he canceled it. Big deal. Or maybe the product that he bought, he didn't need it anymore. So there are thousands of possibilities of a customer canceling at the last minute. But the point is that you take it everything on your own self and you blow things out of proportion. Again, ask the same questions, am I catastrophizing this event? Like, is this the only customer my, survivalship is like a dependent on? Or, am I like blowing things out of proportion? When you ask these questions, you stop this kind of a thinking. And then helpful thinking you can create is okay, this customer is still loyal to me, and it's okay. Cancellations do happen. They would have their own reasons. Uh, just by one customer canceling one product, that doesn't mean my business is going to fall apart. And so these are the kind of helpful thinking that you may want to create to kind of come out of this situation. Another example could be, a mother where her teenage daughter is late by 30 minutes to reach home than the usual time, and the mother automatically, it happens automatically. Oh my God, where's my daughter? Why is she not returned from school or college? She's usually at this time. It is 30 minutes she's late. I'm trying to call her. She's not picking up the call. Relax. Calm yourself down. Uh, do this again, ask these questions. Am I now, is this thinking helping me? Like, it's the same cognitive the same thought dilute to questions also you can ask. They will also bring in the same impact. Is this thinking really helping me to think constructively or to feel better? Right, if I continue to think this way, am I going to am I going to have a better solution? So ask these questions and ask, am I catastrophizing? Am I she's a teenage daughter, maybe she's gone out with her friends for a cup of coffee, or maybe she's stuck in traffic. There are thousands of possibilities why she's late. It does not always mean that she had a major accident. So this is how human beings, some of them could think. It's just a nature of catastrophic thinking. Now with this course, now with this awareness, if you are also someone who is doing this thinking, come back. Don't be in that catastrophic thinking zone. Come, pull yourself back, and start putting things into perspective. Okay, my daughter is late. Let me call her up and check. Maybe call her up her friends and check. Let's wait for an hour or two. Let's see, how we want to proceed this further. She must have been stuck in traffic, and she'll definitely come. So these are the helpful thoughts then you can kind of create. Then, as a student, exams results are going to be out in 2 days, and you are already feeling so, panicky and nervous, like, what will happen if I fail? And, how will I show the face to my friends and to my parents? What will I ask them? What will I tell them? So these are the, like, you're already blowing out of proportion, even if, sadly, if you fail and you have to, repeat 1 year, it is a 1 year that is gone. Like, it doesn't mean that in life you have failed. It doesn't mean that in your parents' eye you are a failure. It's nothing to do like that. Okay, so if you're giving too much now, see, if you didn't study at all and you failed, then the result already. You are going to fail. But if had you given your best and still you're failing, then that's a different story. And those are the scenarios where you don't really have to catastrophize this thinking. Ask this question, Am I catastrophizing? What will happen if I fail? Okay, I will openly tell my parents, you know what, I gave my best, but this the results are out and I have failed and I'm going to repeat the year. Please support me. This is how you build up helpful thinking. And trust me, when you build up helpful thinking, people will appreciate. People will provide you support for your honesty and for you asking for support. So that is where your life will become easier and better. So I hope this explanation kind of, out defines and explains what catastrophic thinking is. I'm glad I did this because I felt, somewhere this actually somehow I was also doing it, in a great way when I was in my corporate job. So, my boss gave me some assignment and I should just think in catastrophic terms, and that would create a lot of anxious thoughts. So this is one thinking, according what I have observed, is it creates a lot of anxious thoughts. So we don't want unnecessary anxious thoughts. So yeah.